Hi, my name is Amit Mishra. I am a brewmaster currently at Beer Library. I'm also a co-founder at Kadak. I'm at Chatty now.
I'm Ishan. I'm the founder of Kadak Brewing Company, and I'm here at Chatty. So looking forward to chat with you guys.
Thank you so much, Ishan. Thank you so much, Amit. And Babus, this is Chatty from Chatty. Very unusual time. Today is the first time we're featuring two people. We've got the Kadak boys, and we're going to have some real Kadak conversation out here. So the first thing I noticed when I was reading your profile is that disasters create master blasters. So I believe when you guys first met and you all brewed beer together, it was completely contaminated.
Yeah, that's right. So what happened is we went to the homebrew store and bought the basic supplies of making our first homebrew, and we got this malt extract can, and we were supposed to we added it in hot water and mixed it up thoroughly.
Okay.
But to cool the wort, we added cold water into it.
Okay.
So since we were newbies and we didn't really know what we were doing, we just, we thought the tap water in UK is very, already filtered and it shouldn't be a problem. So we added it straight, and I think that led to contamination.
Okay. And
just to add a little word, this was in 2010 when we both were studying together, when we were studying about brewing in UK.
Okay. So this is a good 10 years old. Okay. You come a long way and made some real Kadak beers. So tell me then how from there, and Ishan, you were at Lemp Brewing, which is India's first international microbrewery, am I right?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. It still exists?
No, it shut down in 2013. Apparently, if you make good beers, people don't appreciate it. Brewery shut
In Gurgaon.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Oh, shit. But you've graced the world by making your own beer now.
Yeah.
So one is an IPA fan and one is an pale ale fan out here.
Yeah, I can say. I like them both, but it really depends on the hops, I would say. I like English hops as well. I know there are a lot of people who don't like English hops. They have some grudge against them. But if you look at it, the actual pale ales and IPAs started back in England.
Yeah.
So those were the first hops that brewers should come to appreciate. And so I do like English IPAs as well.
So sabne daga de di, they don't use or do not prefer English hops, is it? No.
No, not at all. I don't know why they have some. I think ever since there's been this American revolution in terms of making hoppy beers, people generally prefer those hops. Yeah.
I think same thing is. People are so obsessed. Most of the breweries, brewery owners, most of the people in India I've seen are so obsessed with American style IPAs that I've seen they forget. You get actually much better beers from Europe, especially from Belgium. Those are the beers. They have such great history. The way they are produced, the techniques that are used, and they don't even call their beers craft. It's every beer that they produce is in smaller batches.
Yeah.
It's the real definition of craft beer that you see in all your Trappist ales or your Abbey ales or your sours that Belgians do. But yes, Indians are. A lot of people I meet are obsessed with American style. So I don't know why.
So you could say the Europeans would call it Trappist beer and the Americans would call it craft beer.
Craft is generally a big umbrella that has been created to combine so many different styles. But yeah, in a way, for Belgians, these styles are very traditional, and the monks have been brewing it for
centuries,
decades. So for them the craft is not really, that word was never there initially, and it has been introduced by the American Revolution in brewing. So
and as and there's so much of tradition, there's so much of history, there's so many stories when you talk about Belgium or German beers. I mean, like I feel America is still that way pretty young and still new generation when it comes to beer.
I think Americans just know how to glamorize things a
Huh.
lot. I mean, I was just reading it just 3-4 days back about a beer called Orwell, and which is fermented with Brett yeast. And now Brett IPAs are a rage in US, and everybody is brewing it. But Orwell is being produced from hundreds of years in Belgium. So I think is the way Americans market things, probably the way they market their when they did it for dry hopping and other things.
Yeah.
So in that ways they take over the edge. But all these things have been there in doing the scene from a longer time in Europe already, and that's why these beers are very very.
Yeah, and the Europeans didn't need to make a drama out of it, I mean, yes, I agree.
They don't know how to.
The Americans know how to package stuff, yeah. The छोटा सा भी चीज़ हो, they know how to put it all together and make it look absolutely great.
No, I was surprised when I went to this Russian River tap room in SF, and there is actually a huge line right outside.
Okay.
And most of the people who are coming out are like carrying crates of Pliny the Elder. Like people are literally obsessed, like they. I mean, I think you won't see something like this in Belgium. Like people are like, okay, beer, But then, the Americans like to take it to the next level.
So they are always like that in every aspect of life. Can't be helped. So coming back to Kadak, how did this entire Kadak story start?
We've been together for almost 10 years, and we've been working in this space for almost 10 years now, and it was very obvious and there was a natural step for us to get into the production of our own beers, and we've been thinking about it from a really really long time, and we thought this is the right time to take one step ahead and just launch a brand and see how the market is and how we can go ahead if we have to ever go into bottling or canning and get into the bigger space. So naturally, we thought we have the expertise. We know the business side of it. We know the technical side of it, and we also somehow think we can market it as well. So that was the natural thing that we thought. Okay, we should do it. And we have seen people without beer experience opening beer brands. With just people just think they just have a little bit of money and they can open craft beer brand. It doesn't work like that. At the end of it is the product that you need, and the product comes from the experience that we bring on to the table. And our experience is also very unique because we are the only guys in this entire country who have worked probably in every state. So we know different consumer minds.
Wow.
We know how different works in what works in Delhi doesn't work in Bangalore. What works in Bangalore doesn't work in Mumbai. So we have this experience of growing the palette for different cities and creating successful beer brands across different cities. So that gives us the edge over. So that's how we thought, let's do a brand. And me and Amit decided we have a partner, another partner in the company, Pint. So we thought, okay, let's get into this. Let's just start making, and this has to be the beginning of it.
Absolutely. And how come a bottled beer and a craft beer and not a microbrewery? You didn't think on those lines?
We've been doing craft microbreweries for almost 10 years. So for us, it was definitely we wanted to get into distribution. So we started off with kegging, and eventually the plan is to get into bottling and canning.
Oh, fantastic. And which, since you said that you have been worked in all states, and therefore it was a natural thing for you. You know the market and launch Kadak as well. Which state has received it well compared to the others?
We are currently only in Maharashtra, and we were going to get into the second leg of our expansion, but now everything has been, has come to standstill because of COVID.
Yeah.
So, or else we would have definitely expanded to other states this year.
I was also asking a couple of brewers that, I guess nobody's ever seen a situation like this where there's going to be a complete lockdown. And normally it's always like, how does your day start, what happens and all. It's on an auto mode. But how do you expect life to change for you from a production end or with all the beers that are being made once the lockdown is lifted and you go back to work?
I think everyone is going to go through this, lag phase that we call in terms of yeast propagation.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a very slow growth, which will be consistent through almost all the industries, I would say, because, everyone's production is at standstill. And it's not like the demand is going to suddenly go up instantly, because I don't think a lot of people would still be comfortable coming out of their homes and coming to pubs and in public places, or go to a crowded bar and get your beer.
Yeah.
Right? So that is still going to be a difficult situation. If our government would allow craft brewers, small breweries to, if somehow we could start, canning our beers or making crowlers or growlers, we could have been able to at least, distribute our beers that way and still not be impacted as much. But for a country of our size, I think we are a very, very tiny industry.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
I don't think we will be given that much of importance. So
I think over and above, one thing we need is that beer should be made, or rather alcohol should be made an essential commodity. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, come on, everyone's just been talking about it. I'm saying this not just the brewers or the industry guys, but everyone else. Arey, daru khatam ho gayi, where to get it and all that. If that's such a big, issue, then might as well as why hide in the dark, yeah? Bol do na, aur kar do, let people enjoy, yeah? Something they need to do now while sitting at home.
In times like this, you need dua, and daru.
Daru, most importantly. Starting from the last to the first. वही चाहिए सबसे ज़्यादा.
Line of the podcast, dawa, dua and daru.
Daru. No, I'm going to put it. Just watch me. Amit, you also were mentioning in your profile that if you had to name your beer, okay, it would be called End of the World.
Yeah. Actually, the thing is, I had just last month, somewhere around the first week of March, we had pretty much finished making a new batch of double IPA with a new set of hops, and we experimented something with dry hopping, and I was quite excited to release it on tap. But all of a sudden, end of the world actually came in. So I was thinking, okay, so when this is going to get over, I'll release it as End of the World double IPA, because it is at 7.4%.
Wow.
So,
when I read it, I said, this guy has some kind of a vision ahead. He can preempt what the world is coming to. Maybe कुछ अंतर्यामी इंसान है ये तो.
Well, it was. I didn't intend it to be on such a massive scale, but okay.
But it's working.
But it seems to be working. I hope at least in Bangalore or Karnataka the ban is supposed to lift. I don't know by 14th. I don't know, because right now they are not declared Karnataka as one of the states where they are going to extend. 14
means that's tomorrow.
Yeah, at least I would go and get to try the double IPA. I haven't even tried it.
Oh shit, man.
I would really go and...
So tell me, what happens in at times like this? You can't go to your factory and even go and check if everything is fine. I mean, what is it? What happens?
So what we did is most of the stuff, like the refrigeration part of the beer, which maintaining the temperature, which is essential because or else it gets spoiled quicker. So that is on automated mode and it keeps running. We just have to make sure that there are no alarms going on. So once in 3-4 days, somebody goes in and takes a peek and checks all the systems are online and working fine.
Okay.
So the beer is just sitting in tanks, and the refrigeration is doing its job right now. So beer is just conditioning for a very long time. Okay. The Belgian style of conditioning, you can.
Acha, okay. Yeah, because it's kind of worrisome also, no? If in what condition it is, it's going to get contaminated, and these are large numbers that we are talking about.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's. Tell me how receptive are people to in terms of beer education? Do they just are consuming it because it's the trend or it's the new thing to do and the coolest thing to be seen with, or are people asking questions and knowing a lot more about beer than before now?
I think people are interested in understanding about beers. I mean, we do a lot of workshops. There's a workshop that we created called Beer Pe Charcha, where we just pan India, probably Mumbai, Bangalore, everywhere that we work or have certain events. We hold up monthly events, and the kind of response that I get and kind of people, the curiosity that generates and the crowd that comes in, they ask questions. It's very fascinating. People do want to understand about beers. Unlike 7 years back when it was very difficult for us to even sell a pint of beer. Right now it's not difficult. And I've been doing this almost 8-9 years, and I've seen the progression. I mean, I remember 2011-12 when people hardly knew about beers. From now, people asking me which hops I've used in the last batch of beer. So it's a lot of. I mean, people are getting into it.
And it feels so proud, actually, when people ask no, and we normally expect them to just drink it. But if they're asking about hops, then there's something really good happening out there.
Definitely, I mean that's what excites us. I mean, when I see this from past 5-6 years, the kind of questions people ask, and once they ask these questions, and then we realize, okay, at least somebody is appreciating our effort. And for a brewer, nothing is more important than somebody is appreciating beer or somebody understanding what how he has actually made it and what ingredients have he used. So it's very satisfying for a brewer. I'm sure Amit can tell more about it. But for a brewer, it's definitely very, very rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I gave a lot of people come and ask me for brewery tours. People ask a lot of questions.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good sign actually. That people are not just wanting to drink good beer, and they also are interested to learn furthermore.
And these are what? These are millennial kids, or they come from all age groups. Of course, legal age is what I'm referring to.
all. I mean, it's from millennials to people who are
in the 40s and 50s.
Not so millennials. I don't know who are millennials. I mean, what are the age brackets? But people ask you questions from who are early 20, mid 20s and above 30, 35. It's everybody is interested in knowing what the age group is really, really huge. People like
there was a group of girls who showed up one day at the brewery. They were from a college, and they were actually doing a project on microbreweries, and they wanted to take they shot a small interview and with me in the brewery, and so people actually have started doing this at a very, very early, like you can say, from institutions to. And also these guys who have grown up drinking Kingfisher in this country, and then suddenly they see there is something called as craft beer. They are very intrigued by it.
We are very much a Kingfisher generation. No? We started. पहला बूंद तो वहीं से हुआ.
बिल्कुल. I mean, for us also college was also like same thing. It's only after we finished our masters that we came to know that India also has microbreweries after we finished.
पहले option भी नहीं था ना. There wasn't anything. You had Kingfisher, you had London Pilsner, Haywards, and Maharani, and those kind of things that existed. So I guess nobody had.
That was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Back then.
So the place where I stay, it's called the LP stop. Because
okay.
yeah, so there's it's defunct obviously, but yeah, there's a London Pilsner factory out there. So if anyone had to come by road, it was London Pilsner, and if anyone comes by a train, then it is Hina wines. So my milestones are also very beer oriented. Okay, so tell me, if someone wants to get into the beer industry, what would be your advice to them?
Start drinking beer first. I was just saying, I'll repeat it again. Lot of students that I meet, they go to university and then they come out with degree. They have absolutely no idea about beers. Most of them don't even drink beer, which is very surprising. So I think if you want to be successful in this craft brewing industry, first thing you have to do is start drinking beers. Start drinking different types of beers.
Yeah.
Observe them, understand their flavors, understand what it tastes like, remember the flavors. If you really don't like drinking beer, this is not the life for
Industry
you.
to be.
Do not do us a favor.
You do not enter.
Do not enter.
अंदर घुसो ही मत.
No, this is one of the biggest problems we are facing in this country. I know a lot of brewers don't even drink beers. If you don't drink beer, why are you making it? I mean, you're just ruining the craft.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, you need to taste your own beer before you serve it to anyone else here. And how will you know what's right or wrong with it if you don't get it, hang of it? It needs to be in your palate.
No amount of education can make you a great brewer. It's all about passion. If you have passion for it, only then you can succeed. There's no degree, nothing is required for all this. I mean, it's just willingness. So a lot of home brewers, a lot of brewers that I know are not even. They don't even have a formal education, but they make fantastic beers. So it's passion for beers, and first thing is love for beers, and it only happens if you're drinking beers.
Yeah, I swear, yeah. The love for it.
For example, I'm giving one of the most renowned brewmasters, Ed Bengali, who's like my guru and happens to be Michael Jackson's friend. Used to be Michael Jackson's friend, the Deer Hunter.
Oh, okay.
And he had a degree in photography. He did not have a degree in brewing. So he actually started brewing at home and then went on to working in breweries as an assistant brewer, and then slowly went on to winning awards for his beers. And like Ishan said, so you don't actually need any formal education, you just need a lot of passion to make good beer. And I think that's what counts.
That's what counts. What are future plans for Kadak?
First, survive the COVID.
Okay, like all of us. Story of our lives.
Yes, so we are going to take one step at a time now. It's going to be, right now we are just waiting for things to normalize and stabilize and evaluate the market post-COVID, see how things are going to be. Definitely we are looking into getting into Karnataka as a second state for Kadak and probably West Bengal. These were two in the pipeline. A lot of work had already put in. But we just have to wait now and probably have to delay a few things. But right now we're just waiting for things to start.
So, I know I keep saying last words and all, but, God forbid something like this doesn't happen again. But what should one do, as I'm saying purely from a beer industry perspective, that if something like this happens again, how does one, prepare themselves for a situation like this?
Really don't know if you can prepare yourself from the situations like these. These are unprecedented and nobody knows this would arrive. But as an industry, we can just put on certain safety parameters in place. We can continue doing social distancing, improvise on hygiene even more, and personal hygiene. In fact, that should be the learning from the whole situation. And definitely after this, we all brewers and everybody should install a kegerator in their houses. Something like that.
That is a must.
That's a must.
I I haven't had beer since a month now.
What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm serious. I mean, not a single stuff beer I've had since a month.
But you don't have your own
So-
brand stocked up at home?
No, I mean, I stay a little far from my brewery and people won't let me leave home. So I'm kind of, yeah. Ishan especially has made so many virtual movies of what would happen if I go to drink beer. Like, so I have not left home because of that.
Oh shit. Oh, that's really sad, yeah. But I completely agree with this kegerator concept. One should have it at home, yeah. And yeah, that's a must. That's, I think, not just for a brewer, but everyone should have one. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So that brings us to the end of our podcast. And thank you so much, Amit. Thank you so much, Ishan, for being on Cheers Chatty.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, guys.
please follow us on Cheers Chatty.